So our speaker today, I'm actually very, very excited about. I don't know Seraphim all that well, but I know him well enough to know that he is very, very curious. He's happy to explore something, explore the assumptions that he's made about it. He called me once and said, "Hey, I'm curious about hypnosis. Can I just do a session just to see what it's like?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So we just came in and played around a little bit. If you read his bio, he's got a very interesting thing in his bio that once upon a time he had a very strong prescription. He wore glasses right up into the point where he just asked himself one day, what would happen if I don't wear glasses anymore? And perhaps he will share a little bit of that story with us. His talk today is about how we are seeing and what we're looking at and where we're putting energy. He asks, do you believe you see clearly? Does your attention waver? Do you feel like your energy could be more directed toward your intentions? And he's going to lead us through some exercises talking about our eyes and how that is the focus of where attention goes, energy flows, and how we can use that in our daily practice for spiritual insights and other yummy stuff. So with that, why don't you help me welcome Seraphim Stapleton. I got it, right?
All right, let me give you guys some handouts. I'll start with you. Just take one staple and pass it down. Thank you. Nice. And if there's not enough, somebody can share something. All right, so how's everybody doing today? Nice, glad to hear. Perfect. Before we start, I'll just give you a quick overview of what's on here, so you guys can look at it at your own leisure. On the front is just some theory, just some information from different places, such as the internal medical classics of the Yellow Emperor, or just some research that other people are doing around the world to be able to see without having to even use your eyes. On the second page is what we're really going to be focusing on today. Some massage, some qigong, and some exercises to look through, as well as a meditation. And the back page is just some pictures. Pictures of what they're talking about when you're doing your meditation, where the energy centers are, and it's going through the points that we're going to use with our massage today. Self-eye massage. Okay, now you guys know everything. All right, so one of the things we look at is how well do we see the world? You know, what lens are we seeing the world through? And you can see that very clearly. Are you wearing glasses, or what kind of habits and patterns do you view around you in the world? You all probably know that what you think is what you see. So if you're a person who focuses on seeing things positively, you'll see the positive aspect in everything around you, and you build energy towards that, your generative force. And if you see things in a dour expression, you'll probably see yourself being more sad. So that's just one of the filters that we like to see the world through. So how are you seeing the world? Are you seeing things clearly? Are you seeing things truly objectively, or is it your own perspective? And cool thing, in robotics they found, and in a lot of the research they found that we don't use our eyes to see. The eyes are just there to help us focus our vision and focus our intent and spirit. But it's the brain that processes all the information that we see inside. So whether you see Bobby over there, that's just how your brain is processing the way that Bobby stands. And really cool, I think 2023, one of the Nobel Prize winners for something in science found that we create every person as soon as we wake up, every single time. And so everybody, as you look at somebody, I'm going to look at Skookum because I know your name, everybody will see Skookum a little bit differently. Some might see her taller, some might see her shorter, some might see something different based on what you are attuned to in life and how clearly you are seeing things, or however you want to interpret what you're seeing. So a lot of the first exercises we're doing are actually just to get the blood and qi to flow through your eyes itself. So our eyes have a lot of muscles around here. They say the strength of the muscles in your eyes is almost stronger than the strength of your glutes. And when we're wearing glasses, your eyes are just focused in one style of strain. Same when you look at your phone, it's one style of strain, and your eyes just stay there and it kind of gets atrophied. And there's a lot of methods to start relaxing and opening and awakening the eyes. And also to release the fascia. So real quick, you guys can look at each other's eyes, just look to a person next to you, and notice, what do you see? Don't worry about any kind of analysis, just notice, what do you see? Are the eyes clear? Are they bright? Are they soft? Do you notice any colors? Do you notice a large aperture around the pupil or a smaller? You guys are pretty good, especially those two.
They're dialed in.
They're dialed in. So in Oriental medicine, the eyes have a direct correlation to your liver. Liver has a lot of things involved, not just with processing your blood flow, but in the energetic realm, it's about the way you see things, about justice, about anger, about control, about rooting. There's a lot of things that go on, and it's very strongly related to your tendons and to your blood. So they say your eyes, for health, have a direct relation to all your organs. And they even have it in the Bagua, those 8 little trigrams for the eyes that relate to your different organs, to different reflexology zones. And there's a lot of practice in the qigong and in the other just ancient wisdom arts of relaxing the gaze, letting your eyes be completely neutral. You're not focusing and straining what you're seeing. You're not just zoned off from the world, but you have your eyes in the middle. You're not looking up or down or right or left, because that all changes the way that your energy flows, the way that your brain is processing information, and really starts changing your entire posture and your habits. So a lot of people who look down, their heads naturally go down. Their body starts to become more depressed, and that makes the liver qi go down. So that means when you interpret things, you're going to interpret things in a more suppressed or oppressed state. Versus a person who's always looking up, now their head has to look up more. You're going to raise the heart qi and the liver qi. You're going to see things in a different perspective. So let's take a moment. Just go ahead and sit up straight. Let your feet be on the floor. And this is part of your, what they call yin eyes practice, where you're not straining your eyes to look clearly, but you're not letting your eyes be completely unfocused. And this is where they say you start to see energy or steam rising. So as you're sitting there, just notice, where are your eyes? Are your eyes looking down a little bit? Are they looking up a little bit? Are they left? Are they right? Are they this way or are they that way? Where is your focus? And just take a couple of breaths. And notice that every time you exhale, your eyes start to relax just a little bit more. As you gaze off into the unknown distance. When you inhale, you're bringing blood up to your eyes. And when you exhale, your eyes muscles are all softening. The irises are expanding. They're dilating. The pupils are getting bigger. And when you inhale, the pupils begin to get smaller. And so just notice that relation for a moment. As you bring in your blood flow, your circulation, and then just go ahead and take your index finger, whichever hand, and slowly, slowly bring it closer to your nose, as close as you want to. And just don't poke your eyes out. And once you're all the way to your nose, just slowly, slowly bring it out. And this is one of the exercises that we did in China when we were working with the tuina doctors. Every morning before we start working on a patient, they guide us through some qigong and some exercises. And this was one of them because it helps your eyes start to slowly and incrementally keep focus and release a lot of the stressors and the tensions on your eyes. Let's just do it one more time. You'll notice if you bring your inhale with your hand movement as it comes closer, your eyes are able to focus a little bit better. And as you exhale, as your hand moves away, your eyes will maintain that focus as it goes further away. Nice job. Awesome. So your iris dilates and contracts. What's that word? I don't know. Dilates and contracts with your thoughts, with your emotions, with your breathing, if it's light, if it's dark, and with your intentions. And so they say the first exercises you want to do in the morning to really make your brain chemistry move in a proper rhythm is just look at the sunrise for 10 minutes. Whether you're able to look directly at the sun or underneath, that's up to you guys. But when you look at the sunrise for 10 minutes, that starts to relax the cortisol in your brain. That starts to help your body wake up and refreshes all the chemical pathways inside your brain and inside your body. And that teaches your eyes to start dilating. And then in the evenings, before you go to bed, looking at the moon or the stars or just darkness or candlelight helps your eyes start to expand, helps the irises expand and dilate and relaxes your brain. So they say if you look at the sun, look at the moon, that starts to regulate your brain and the way that you start seeing things. And the main thing there is the cortisol, the stress levels. So my brother, one time, he was so stressed. He had to go back to Texas. He was so worried. He literally could not see what was right in front of him. He's like 22 at the time. He couldn't see. I was like, hey, just go to gate C. It's literally right in front of you. So we were on the phone. It's like, I can't even see what's going on. Can't see the gate. I can barely see you like right in front of me. And when you have so much stress, your brain, your vision, your body just starts to tense up. So now that we've got our eyes focused, go ahead and start warming your hands. And we're going to go through the massage first. Want to keep our hands warm. chi flow, the blood flow. Excellent. All right, how do your hands feel? Do they feel
Warm.
tingly? Warm? Perfect, we can start. So after I decided to take off my glasses, I called one of my friends. His family was an acupuncture family in Korea. And then he moved here to Anchorage, works at Fran's Bakery. I said, yo, is there any way that I can learn to see without using my glasses? He's like, yes, I'll come in there tomorrow morning and give you a session. Like, awesome. This guy, he's got like thumbs the size of my wrist. He's got strong fingers. So after he was done with me in that massage,
Done with me.
yes, after he was done with me, my boss comes in and she's like, were you up all night partying? I said, no. She's like, you look really rough. So you can take that information, go as deeply as you want or not so deeply. But the first point we're going to use is right on the inside of the eye. And it's not just at the bone, it's right behind your occipital lobe. Just push it there. Keep your eye closed and just breathe for a bit. And all the points are really simple. There's 6 points total, and you just hold it for 1 minute. Just breathe. What you're doing is you're resetting all the muscles around your eye. And as you do this, it also helps to reset your liver, and it helps your brain fog begin to clear up. Ten more seconds. And as you bring your hand out, bring your thumb out nice and slow. Boom. And the second point is going to be right in the middle of the eye. Just go ahead and go behind that occipital bone. If you're squishing your eyeball a little bit, you're doing good. And push up. If it feels unpleasant, then you've got the right spot. And this is one of the main muscles, main acupoints that really affects the heart, affects the liver, affects the brain. Yes.
We should only be doing one side at a time.
One side at a time is more efficient because then your body can focus on sending all the blood and chi to that area. Just if you need to breathe, let your breathing come naturally. Your body needs to process, needs to purge, needs to let go of whatever it's holding on to. 10 more seconds. And slowly exhale, release the point. And the third point is right on the upper corner of your eye. This one's also related to spleen. You just go right inside of the occipital bone, so like you're hooking it a little bit, and just push. Seconds left. And while you're doing it, just notice what state your body's in, what your emotions are, how you're feeling, where your brain's at, and exhale to release. Okay, normally we do that 3 times. Keep your eye closed, whichever one you're working on. Normally we do that 3 times, but due to time, only going to do it 1 time through. Next, we're going to press really deeply at the first point you worked on, And now you're going to smooth out all those muscles. They say it should take 1 minute to go from one corner to the next corner. And if your eye is moving, you're doing pretty good. You're actively massaging the eye and all the muscles and attachments and nerves and fascia. Resetting your brain's connections. About halfway done. And when you get to the end, just let your hand come off slowly and keep your eye closed because we're going to do the next portion, which is the bottom half. Nice. All right, so the next one is going to be the inside bottom corner. Same thing, go right underneath the occipital bone and push inside as deep as you want to. I mean, you can literally go as deep as you want. Ten more seconds. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly release. And we'll move on to the next point, which is roughly in the middle. So just put your finger right in there. You should be able to feel like a bulge of muscle. And that's where you want it to be pushing. This point helps with kidneys, with your willpower, with courage, with bringing the water energy up into your eyes. And 10 more seconds. And slowly exhale and release that point. Keep your eye closed. If you're tearing up, that's good. All right, and last point, same as the other one, but it's on the bottom corner. Really hook your finger in there. Don't be too afraid. This one also really helps relieve a lot of the fascia tension that's inside your face, inside your jaw. So if you got like a tight jaw, if you got a lot of thinking where things are rigid, or you're always holding yourself in a state of stress, this helps start releasing your face, releasing that fascia and the muscles that flow all the way to your chest. Ten seconds left. And slowly exhale, slowly release that point. Keep your eye closed because you're going to do the same thing on the upper side and just press really deeply and move all that tissue out to the outside of your eye, outside corner of your eye. They say it should take 1 minute to do it each time. But once you get to the end of your eye, keep your eye closed and then warm up your hands. So you just did the therapy portion of the eye, now it's the integration portion. Once your hands are nice and warm and hot, place one hand on your eye, right at the center of your palm, the other hand on the back of your suboccipital. These are called the window to heaven points, right between the center of your skull to the outside corner of the back of your skull. You hold it there for 1 minute, and you're breathing from palm to palm. So as you inhale from the front palm, and attract it to your back palm. And as you exhale, you push from your back palm up to your front palm. If you want, you can imagine you're putting energy from your palms or just circulating warmth. And just 10 more seconds. And exhale, slowly remove your hands, keep your eye closed. And that same exercise we did in the beginning, just bring your finger, start it right at your nose. Slowly open your eye as you begin to move your finger. Just slowly, slowly. So you just do the exercise for 1 minute. Should take 1 minute to move the hand all the way away, and 1 minute to move the hand all the way back to your nose. And when you're done, you just go ahead and open both eyes and play around. See if you notice a difference in the way that you're seeing. See if you notice a difference in the way that you're breathing, the way that your body feels, the way that your mind feels. So just take a moment and notice the difference. You can open one eye and breathe, see, here's how it feels. Open the other, here's how it feels. And both open at the same time. Everybody has some red eyes now. All right. Did you guys notice anything? Is there a difference from before and after?
Eye feels rejuvenated.
Nice. So this is really good for people who have anxiety, overthinking, inability to focus on one thing for a long period of time. It's good for a person who has trouble with insomnia and being able to sleep. It's really good if there's eye twitches or just body twitches in general. So those often relate to liver, relate to erratic thoughts that keep trying to jumpstart themselves, or thoughts that keep coming back really quickly. We'll do the other side in a minute. And we'll skip over to the middle little blurb on the first page. Dr. Applebaum. He has a really cool eyesight rejuvenation program. It's so cool that it costs like $20,000 for 5 days. So, but the thing is, they found very accurately that your eyes don't really matter for seeing. They had somebody who had over 300 surgeries in one eye, and within 5 days, he was able to see with 20/20 vision. And that's a lot of sutures, that's a lot of things going on in the eye. And with the training, he's able to have the 20/20 vision in that eye in 5 days. And a lot of the training that they do is things such as peripheral vision, or learning how to de-stress, learning how to dilate and constrict your eyes by themselves, and learning how to just capture the world and translate it through your eyes or through your brain itself. And so you've got a lot of stories where apparently, and what the bleep do we know, Captain Cook came over to Australia, and the Aborigines there did not realize that. They came in on this huge, massive ship. And he had to teach the shaman or the leader of the tribe how to look at the ship, how to change the way his facial structure looked, and before he could finally register that the big ship was there. And then they had to teach the entire tribe. So that's a story. If it's true or not, we don't know. But the idea is that really how we view things is how we actively look and how we actively interpret it in our brain. And even in the English language, there's a lot of things such as your eyes were clouded by, or your judgment was clouded, or your eyes were clouded in anger, or you've got tunnel vision, or you've got this or that. So there's a lot in our own language that describes the state of our eyes. And in the wisdom traditions, most of what we do for our qigongs, for your tai chi, for your yoga, you have a lot to do with your eyes and learning to reset that, learning to be calm, stretch it through, and let your brain reprocess all the information. Okay, you guys want to do the other side? Okay, let's even it out. So, now that you know what we're doing, go ahead and just warm your hands up, get chi flowing. And the slower you do the movements, such as the acupressure, such as your body movements, such as your exercises, the more your eyes are able to start changing and focusing and feeling. All right, so close your eye. Start with pushing on the upper inside corner of your eye. Don't be afraid to go behind that bone and push into something squishy. That's not your eyeball. This also opens up the nasal passageways. All right, 10 more seconds. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly release that point. And move on to the second one, which is in the middle of your suboccipital, or your occipital ridge. Just push in between your eyeball and the inside of the bone. it's feeling uncomfortable, you're in the right spot. Ten more seconds. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly release that point. And the third spot, right on the upper corner of the eye. Just go right behind the bone, push in. If you find some muscle, push on that muscle. And if your arm is getting tired, take a moment to realize, oh wait, I am holding so much stress and tension in my upper body. And as you exhale, see if you can relax your shoulder a little bit. See if you can relax your back a little bit. Two more seconds. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly release that point. Don't be too fast. You want the blood to flow normally. And then we're going to press and drag all those points, starting at the inside upper corner. Really press as deep as you can, right before it's painful. And try to take almost a minute to go from one side of the eye to the other. You're actively changing the musculature and the structure of your eye, so don't be too hasty. Excellent. And then we'll do the same thing once you get to the end and start on the inside lower corner of your eye. Just stick your finger all the way in. If it feels a bit uncomfortable, you know you're in the right spot. And notice where your mind is while you're actively working on your eyes. The mind naturally begins to focus and quiet down as you're releasing these points. Begins to be some space. Your body has to breathe on its own to process all the information that it's releasing. All the traumas, all the overstrains and understrains, all the emotional holdings, everything that your eyes see as it relates to the heart. And as you exhale, slowly, slowly release that point. And then bring it to the middle point, in the bottom eye. Stick your finger in as far as you can. Push some muscle. If your eyes tear up, you're doing good. This point's also good for resetting your nervous system. It's on the stomach channel in Chinese medicine, the earth channel. And on your next exhale, slowly, slowly release that point. And continue over to the bottom outside corner. Ten more seconds. And on your next exhale, slowly, slowly release. And then you've got that press and drag. So from the inside corner, just press as deep as you can and super slowly drag all the way from the inside corner to the outside corner. You're moving the fluids in your eye, you're changing the blood vessels, the nerves, the muscles, the fascia. So don't rush. You're actively changing the way that your brain processes information and it moves the energy. So the eyes are related to the liver, and the liver relates to the heart. And then, when you're finished, get your hands nice and warm. When they're burning hot, go ahead and put one hand over your eye, center of your palm, and one hand over the suboccipital. And just inhale from your hand in the front to the hand in your back. And exhale from the hand in the back to the hand in the front. Ten more seconds. And keep both eyes closed. Put your finger right next to your nose. And slowly open the eye that you just worked on. And follow that finger as you move it out. And as you bring it back in. then just the same thing as before. Just examine how you feel. With one eye, with the other eye, with both eyes. Do you notice a difference in your emotions, in your brain, your body, and your eyeballs themselves? Now everybody has 2 red eyes. Looking pretty good. All right, you guys feeling good? Any questions so far? Nice.
So you're saying 3 times for each eye, so that exercise would take, what, half an hour?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a long time. So they really like it because the eyes are young. They express energy to do things in an odd number. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And since you're doing it for 1 minute each one, it's a good idea to do like either 1 time or 3 times, etc. So they recommend doing it 3 times. So you push the point 1 minute, push the point 1 minute, push the point 1 minute, then you repeat it 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, repeat it 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Then you can drag it over, drag it again, and you do the same thing on the bottom. Oops, boom, 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 boom. Drag it, drag it, drag it. And then you do this 3 times. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Then you just open the eye, 1 minute, whee, 1 minute, 1 minute. And that's the protocol per eye.
Does it matter which finger that you use, the index finger or the middle finger or the thumb in doing those?
Good question. First thing is just use what's going to be easy for you to use, right? Because the chi flows when you are relaxed. So the more you can relax, that's the first thing. But each finger has a different element involved. So the eyes are a combination of your right eye is related to yin, to the moon, to relaxation, to mother. And so they consider that one as the wood element. The right eye, the left eye is related to yang, to father, to the sun, all sorts of things like that, and that's related to the metal element. So your fingers, thumb and forefinger, are related to the metal element in Chinese medicine. Your middle finger is related to fire element. The rest are related to fire element, so it doesn't matter. What matters though is your intention. Are you trying to move things through? Are you trying to relax things, etc.? So use whatever's relaxed at first, and then if you have more awareness, more focus, then change the fingers and see how it actively affects the way you do these points.
I have a comment and a question. I want
Yes.
to refer back to this example you gave of the Aborigines. I studied that story, and they said the reason they didn't see the ships, and they didn't see the ships until they were literally on the sand, even though the human eye can see 7 miles out to sea. But the scientists that I read said that the reason they didn't see them is because they didn't have any mental language to describe it, so they didn't see it. So I'm interested, it's fascinating that you said that eyes are actually more brain than a physiological looking glass or whatever you want to say. But I thought that was interesting that because their mind didn't have a construct to wrap around that, they couldn't see it. But then what was it in the squinting? Because you didn't have a squint, and I'm trying to notice if I noticed any more mental energy after what you just took us through. So what was it about the squinting that allowed them at that point to see the ship?
Right. So there's a few things over there. The eyes are related to liver, and the liver is also kind of our generative construct. You see something you like, your energy goes over there. So they say close your eyes if you want to gain more energy, more creative energy in your body. Close your ears if you want to get more of your life energy in your body. And close your mouth if you want to develop your earth energy, your stomach energy, your focus. And with this bottom one, They found exactly what you're saying, that people who have never seen before, or people who have seen and they keep their eyes closed, as long as they have that mental construct, that thing that we're aware of, they're able to see even with their eyes closed. There's a cool short film on Netflix, oh man, I forgot his name. Something story of Henry Sugar. The wonderful story of Henry Sugar, wonderful life of Henry Sugar. Something Henry Sugar. And it's a 30-minute film, and it's about this guy who, he's an actual historical figure. He was able to train to be able to ride a bicycle, to have his head completely wrapped around and juggle without needing to use his eyes. And with that story, part of what they said is not only that mental construct, but actively learning how to look at the world differently. So whether it was squinting, whether it was just like, oh wow, we have to change the way that we are seeing this in order to even receive that information. Because just because you can describe a ship doesn't mean you see it until you see it. So he's like, okay, it's like linguistics. So when you're speaking another language, your throat changes shape, your tongue changes shape, even your mouth has to take on a different shape. Like Chinese language is so different than English language. And you have to take a completely different shape inside your mouth, inside your throat, and your lungs in order to say some of the words. So the same with that kind of viewing. It's like, okay, here's the concept, but also maybe if you strain your eye, you might see something different, right? That's one
What's the
place.
connection to the spirit eye? Because the spirit sees things too. That scientists have done all kinds of fascinating experiments with the children. I forget what they call them, but they look like sleeping masks. They put them over their eyes, and they'll draw a picture and they'll put it in front of the kid where they're completely masked. There's no holes they can't keep from the eye, and they'll tell them exactly what it is, just like that.
Exactly. And that's also mentioned in this one right here. Omnium Universe is one of the leaders in that. Dr. Jacobo, with a really long name, he's one of the leaders in that as well. And there's two different scenarios. First, the kids who have never seen before, and the kids who have seen before. But what they're teaching them is basically let go and just look. Your brain is what's interpreting it. Can you receive those signals? So simple as that. You can keep your eyes closed, breathe, relax until you see something. That was one of my first experiences actually, was I took a nap on a floor, and then I started seeing the floor, like, whoa, are my eyelids getting weaker? What's going on here? Then I realized, oh wait, my eyes are closed, it's just breathing and we can start seeing. And so when you're relaxed, you can actively pick up those vibrations, those frequencies, those patterns that are being projected from the shapes, from the colors, from everything. It's just, does your brain interpret it or not? So it's easier for children to pick it up. They have so many more successful stories with the kids bending spoons, the kids being able to see without their eyes being open. But that's because they don't have that prefrontal cortex that teaches them, okay, you need to see things this way. You need to realize this is a metal cup with a ding on it and know that this is what a metal cup with a ding looks like. The kids are able to say, okay, we can see without our eyes, cool. I can see that metal cup with a ding on it.
And they also scientists found that once a child reaches the age of 12, they're not as effective at doing that because society constructs, the nature, they got wrapped up. But under 12 and under, they can see it just like that,
Right.
which I thought was pretty fascinating because they're more connected to that spiritual feeling.
Right, and I think Bobby has a lot more information on that, Philip too, with the hypnosis, but basically the brain is under a hypnotic state of being until that age. They say until about 7 years old, your brain is completely open, so you're just absorbing everything. By the time you get to about 12, now you start deciding who you are, what you want, and how you fit with society. By the time you're 25, now your prefrontal cortex has hit in, and your values are concretized. So it's a lot harder, but pretty rewarding when we're adults and learning to let go, to see without having to worry about are we interpreting it accurately.
Thank you. It's very fascinating.
There's something around like labeling things and creating separateness to it. We're not connected to a tree because we've now named a tree and we see other trees. That was actually just seen as energy. Is there anything around the work that you've done or read that's around that? It seems like you're kind of re-identifying objects a little bit, or letting that definition or label go.
Right. The important thing is when you see and talk from the heart, the literal heart center. So they say when you've got enough energy and your right and left eye are focused on the middle of your head, your Niwan palace, the palace inside, then that's where you start to see your spiritual light, which is connecting to the energetic, to the physical, to the spiritual. Say there's 5 different layers. There's at least 5 different layers of that energetic light. Are you seeing the emotional connections? Are you seeing the physical connections? Are you seeing the energetic? Are you seeing the organ connections going on? I forgot what the 5th one was. Not there yet. But it's really how do you want to interpret it? So we say this in medicine all the time, that people are too quick to diagnose and try to fix something. And one of the traditions in Ayurveda is when you have something go on, sit with it for 7 days. Just pay attention, contemplate, and don't try to say it's this or it's that or it's the other. Because then you can truly know what's going on there. But as soon as you try to say, this is it, and you're running towards the treatment or you're running towards the definition or the label, then you're having some problems there. You're not necessarily getting better. But when you sit with it and you just let things flow, you get to that more. So that's why they say Adam, the first human, was able to label everything perfectly because he didn't have any preconceived notion of what things were. It's like, wow, this is the spirit of a rhinoceros. So we're going to call it a rhinoceros. He probably spoke Latin, I don't know. But the words that they used were directly identifying what that thing was with the spirit of its energy. So as long as you don't try to label it right away and actually get around the whole diagnosis, that knowing everything about the thing before you label it, it'll change your relationship with knowing, is this a tree or is this just energy coming to me? Or is this something that's refreshing the earth, whatever you're seeing? But taking your time before you say, that's it. Do we have any more time?
I do have a question if you have time. So many people have one weaker eye, one stronger eye. When you do this kind of exercise, is it better to do more often with the weaker eye, or it's with both in the same, well, not in the same time, but you do equal amount with both eyes so that they both get stronger, but one is obviously weaker, so I'm wondering if you would need to focus more on the weaker eye and do that exercise more often on that eye until they match up.
When I work with clients, I focus on the eye that has the issue, whatever it is. Because usually that's showing, okay, we need more energy here or we need to take energy away. Whether you say that's muscles, whether you say that's nervous tics, or just energetic stagnation, I work on that eye. For yourself, figure it out. Feel, is this working for me or is this not? As part of that diagnosis, maybe you don't need to spend as much time as you do on the other one. Maybe it's deficient because there's too much excess on one side. So play with it and try to see.
So in a perfect world, I guess you'd want us to do this every day, but would you say that every other day would probably still raise and improve our condition? I mean,
Absolutely. Even if you do it like once a month or once a week, it's better than not doing at all. So in the beginning, Gerald is his name, he said, do this every single day. I said, wow. And I did it like once a month. But there was still so much improvement, and your body takes a long time to integrate change. So if you're not doing it every single day, that's probably your body saying, hey, I need time to integrate all this work you just did. The brain can integrate really fast. Your mind can see something and say, that's what it is, and it loves the idea. The body takes time. It's earth element. It moves slowly. So if you do it every day, every other day, once a month, that's really up to you as well. But doing it in the first place, or any of the exercises we did not cover, are all going to be helpful with getting things to flow and to move and to just breathe. So there's a direct correlation between your eyesight and between being able to focus. Between one eye, they say the one eye, your right eye, is projecting energy, and your left eye is absorbing energy. So with your question over there too, maybe you're looking at, well, am I projecting too many thoughts or am I absorbing too many thoughts, depending on the eye? That's another way to look at it.
Here, one of the bullet points is circle eye clockwise and reverse 24 times. We didn't do that.
We did not do it. We didn't do any of these exercises, but they're there, so you can do them.
I thought this actually was like the order that we just did it.
We did the massage the eyes.
Yeah. The third from the second from the bottom.
Oh, we did not do it. You're right.
I was just curious how that felt.
Okay, so real quickly, after you look and you see, okay, things are here, or before that, you keep your eye closed and you just circle it one way. Really try to strain your eye as far as you can, 24 times, and then reverse that 24 times. And that helps start to get all those juices flowing properly. So you're supposed to do that before you look. And that helps lubricate, integrate, and actually move the energy in your eyes
It's before you open.
before you open them.
It also resets the nervous system too.
Exactly.
So can you repeat, because I'm taking a lot of notes. So when do you want us to do those 24 strokes prior to even doing? I mean, you were just saying,
It's on this side right here.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks.
So yeah, before you open your eye to do the finger integration.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Your presentation is really cool from a Western standpoint. My dad brought me into Bates, who did a lot of eye work back in the 50s. And then also another person that I met and worked with, Grunwald. But everything you said in practice brings in a broader spectrum of background knowledge with the Eastern Ayurvedic, et cetera. So it's really a nice presentation, and the exercises are excellent. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's give him a big round of applause.